Alright everyone, Cowboy Trades here, welcome back to the channel for another update on Solana. In this episode I just wanted to run through a few quick charts with you on the higher time frames, but I did also want to focus on a potential trade that I see looming in the lower time frames that we could take advantage of. So let's dive right into this. Now first of all, about 2 weeks ago, 13 days ago, we made a new video about Solana, talking about how obviously things were looking like they were getting ready to turn back to the downside, and it seems like we've got a little bit of confirmation on this. For example, since the video 2 weeks ago, we talked about the Sol BTC pair coming back up to this 786 Fibonacci, double 786 Fibonacci box, and we have started to move down from this video. You're seeing Sol ETH start to come down since this video, and also if we come over to our first Sol USD chart, if we get rid of the bull market support bands, you can actually see Solana beautifully came into the short-term moving average on the weekly EMA ribbon, and we are starting to come down to the downside since then. We'll also talk about the oscillators, which are starting to cross bearish in just 1 second, but also bull market support band. While we're still talking about moving averages, we are literally sitting on the cusp of the long-term moving average for this bull market support band. This is currently sitting down round about $20.60. So things are currently not looking too good for Solana. At this moment in time, we are looking pretty bearish. So really $20.50, but more likely $20 is the psychological level that would really need to hold. But in my opinion, things are looking pretty bearish, and it's looking like we're getting ready to move back down to the downside like we talked about 2 weeks ago. We're also seeing in this chart, if we get rid of the Fibonacci's just for 1 second, you can basically see the range lows on the 13th of June, around about $26. You know, we held these back here, we held these back here, and once we lost these, you know, it took a while, but we finally came back up a couple of weeks ago. And once again, this was another indicator we talked about 2 weeks ago, saying, hey, you know, if you want to be bullish, you need to get above this level. And it seems like we've had a pretty harsh rejection from here. High Kanashi candles on the weekly time frame as well. These are great for smoothing out the trend, and you can see the trend has once again started to tick back into light red, indicative that we should obviously be getting more continuation to the downside. Weekly time frame as well, we are putting in a doji candle showing indecision in the markets right now, while we are sitting at this pivotal area. Now, as we are looking at the Fibonacci's as well, what is interesting to note is if we get rid of this Fibonacci right here from the swing high up at this range around about $39, you can see all the way down to the swing low, we beautifully reverted back up to the 618 fib. If I remove this red box over here, you can actually see that we perfectly, like literally down to the exact cent, got rejected from this 618 Fibonacci. We fell through the floorboards of the 0.5, and now we're sitting at the 382 Fibonacci, which once again is pretty much around about this $19.50 $20 region, which is a price target that seems to be reoccurring. Now, if we come over to the next chart, over on the volume profiles, we also talked about this, how, you know, we kind of found a little bit of support around about this range. It wasn't a volume profile, but there were no volume profiles to the downside. Vitalik conveniently tweeted support for the Solana ecosystem down here, and we had a run to the upside. And as you can see, like we talked about in the previous video, we were magnetized to this big volume cluster all the way up here. We grabbed liquidity and we moved back down, while also retesting range lows, also retesting this 618 Fibonacci from here to here. So, you know, there's quite a lot of reasons that are lining up why we should be getting further continuation back down. And you know, we've been talking about the higher time frames, but I will also show you this this chart that I am looking at on the daily, talking about how I can see a trade playing out for Solana very, very soon. And I'll show you what this is. It does look like we're putting in both a bear flag and also a Bart Simpson pattern. Now, with this bear flag, if we draw it on the daily time frame, what I'd really want to see to enter this trade is a reversion back up to this 0.618 Fibonacci at $24.07. I will make an update video if we do get a little bit of continuation back up in this bear flag. If we do come up to $24, it is very, very likely I will be posting a new video, probably titled something like Solana trade now or new Solana trade. So keep notifications on. Obviously, if I post a video that says Solana and it's got trade in the title, then you know that I am looking to enter a new trade for Solana. But right now, I'm really eyeballing up this trade. This does seem like it will have a nice risk to reward ratio. Where it's going to be my take profit? Well, If we look at the volume profiles, you can see a big area of support. Not that I think it's going to hold for a long period of time, but we do have a big area of support down here at $15. So something like a 10x leverage from, the top of this, which is also another volume profile. You can see this $24 is coming into confluence with the top of the volume profiles up here. So let's say if we push up to $24, a move down to $15 on a 10x leverage would be about a 3.7x return. Even after fees, it would just be higher than 3.7x. And one other pattern that I do see playing out for Solana right now is this massive Bart pattern. So you can see we've got a huge run up to the top. We've established kind of like a range high up here, and it seems like we're putting in this spiky hair, which is indicative of a Bart Simpson's pattern. Now, if we do move up to this $24, once again, we could be coming up to the top of the volume profiles, getting rejected from the 618, and we could be putting in that last spike on the top of the head before we do start moving back down. Now, technically, if we are looking at the Bart Simpson pattern, this definitely started down here at $8 when the parabola started moving back up. But once again, if I am entering a trade, I'm going to be a little bit conservative on this one, and I am going to be looking to target the $15 region. So I'll keep you up to date on this. I'll let you know how this works out. On the higher, coming back over to the higher time frames again on the weekly, you are seeing right now that the squeeze momentum indicator is on the cusp of resetting momentum to the heart line. The last time this happened was right here. You can see it almost crossed bullish, and we absolutely nuked to the floorboards. You can see if we do something like this over here, I think a similar situation will take place where we're still making lower lows, lower highs. We reset momentum and start to head back down. Weekly time frame for the MFI, you can see the volume in the market is so overextended right now. We've got touch point rejection, touch point rejection, touch point rejection, and right now it looks like we could be putting in something like a double top with a slightly lower high over on this trend line. So MFI, looking at the volume, we're above the heart line, sitting at about 65 right now. We are very overextended, and since we made this video 2 weeks ago talking about how $5 Solana is still programmed, you can actually see the stochastic RSI has just fired bearish, and we approached literally 100 on the stochastic RSI, and we were not this overextended since we were all the way back up here, basically making a double top range around about $226. So in my opinion, it's looking like Solana has a lot of room to move back down. Now, moving on from the oscillators, I did want to give you a quick update in terms of this Elliott wave theory. This is the WXY double free structure, where basically this pattern is consisted of two ABC zigzags and an INI free ABC. So you can see over here we had our first ABC into a INI free ABC. This formed the W, this formed the X, and if this Elliott wave theory is going to play out, we do not want to move above wave C, or also known as wave X in this instance. So basically, as long as we stay beneath $38, it's looking like this Elliott wave theory is going to continue beautifully playing out. And as we highlighted in the previous video, once again 2 weeks ago, we let you know that coming up to wave B right here, I do think we are starting to top out. We're seeing a lot of indicators telling us that the next wave back down to the downside should be in play very soon. I think we're coming down to $4.50. This target is what I have got from over here. Over on the volume profiles, there's huge data traded down here at $4.50. And like we also talked about, coming over to how Solana is performing against Bitcoin, we've been rejected from this double 786 fib, and coming over to how Solana is performing against Ethereum, which is, people say Solana is an Ethereum competitor, so it is important to know how Sol's performing against ETH. It is not doing too well right now. It is just making a plethora of lower highs, and every time this happens, come over to the Heikenarchis, as soon as you start switching over into light red, it's normally a telltale sign that you are going to come down. It literally every single time actually you've started to switch into light red, you have actually come down and made a lower high. So this chart in of itself, Sol Ethereum, Sol BTC, these two are extremely powerful. Now, I really don't want to spend too much time looking at the on-chain metrics. It feels like I'm kind of beating the dead horse with the on-chain metrics on this one. All I really want to update is, when you are looking at non-vote transactions, the number of active addresses, when you're looking at the new addresses on the Solana network, when you're looking at the Solana value moved on chain, all of these are just absolutely slanting to the downside, and the Solana network is losing a lot of momentum right now. And of course, there's a lot of networks, a lot of blockchains which are pretty much all in the same situation, but Solana is getting hit a lot harder than a lot of these other blockchains. But with that being said, once again, if you're new to the channel, warm welcome. I am actually a big fan of Solana. I do have plans to very much start accumulating around about these $4.50 regions. I've been sitting very, very patiently on the sideline covering this extensively since $100, where I've been bearish. We're now down at $21, and once again, according to this Elliott wave theory, we should really be setting up for one final wave down to 450. And if we do come down to these levels, it's very, very likely that I start flipping very, very bullish, and I'm starting to give you updates saying, hey, 450, we're at my entry point. I'm going to start buying at 5, 4, 3. Maybe down to the VPVR down here at $1.90, which is not my price target right now. Bear in mind, in the short term, like I said, I'd love to see us come up to $24. I'd love to short down to $15. Then I'd love to sit on the sidelines, watch this come down to, around about $5, where I could definitely see myself starting to accumulate and get back into the Solana ecosystem, of which I am a big fan of. Of course, my profile picture on YouTube, Twitter, Discord are all Solana NFTs, so no one can say I'm not a fan of this ecosystem. But with that being said, I'd love to see a short happen from $24. Keep notifications on. If I do see that playing out, I will let you know. But for today, so I've got, my friends, as always, it's been your boy Cowboy Trades. If you enjoy the content, let me know down below by leaving a like and a comment. Share the videos with your friends. Also, make sure to follow me over on Twitter at 618_cowboy. Come and join the Discord. If you head over to my YouTube and click on the About section, you can see my Twitter, Discord, Instagram, and my merch store are linked down below. But for today, that's all I've got. It's been your boy Cowboy Trades. I'm out. Peace.